Hi, this is Haley, the face of Waco Girl Does. You're listening to No Waco. We're back with another episode of No Waco. As you guys can see, we have a very exciting guest in the studio, or should I say guests in the studio. Will you guys please introduce yourselves?
I'm Michelle Shackelford, and this is Miss Joy.
Aww.
I'll introduce her for you. So,
for those of you that aren't watching right now, we do have a puppy in the studio.
Yes.
So there's a service animal, Mrs. Joy, right over there, chilling on the couch. She's so cute. What kind of dog is she?
When I got her, they told me she's Dachshund Lab.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to think too hard about that, how that happened. But yeah, I've never done like a DNA test, which I would like to do, but you know, that's what they told me. So we go with that.
She's so sweet. Well, one of the first questions I always ask is, what brought you to Waco? Or are you a Waco native?
I'm not a Waco native. At this point, I kind of feel like I am. As I've been
I always tell people, you got to claim it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm legally a Waco resident.
Yeah.
So I came to Waco in about August of 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Moved here to study at Truett Seminary, which is at Baylor. Mm-hmm. And
then you never left.
I never left. They told me when I moved here, they told me there was this vortex that like sucks you in. I was like, I'll be fine. Like I'm not gonna, whatever. Yeah, still here. I graduated in 2019, and
oh wow,
like 3 years ago.
4 years, right? So, 3 years ago.
Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's 2022 if you count year numbers.
Yeah.
Wow. And what do you do now?
Full time, I work at Baylor Flowers. Shout out.
Woo woo.
And then on the side, sort of, I have just started a yoga studio, and it's called Sangha Yoga. That's Sangha, Sangha, which means community in Sanskrit.
Aww.
Yeah.
All right,
so
awesome.
Lots of things.
Yeah. So you're a very busy lady.
Yes.
And what got you involved in yoga?
Oh, goodness. Honestly, it was... my therapist told me, who I love, by the way, if you need a good therapist in Waco, you just let me know. She told me, you need to try this yoga thing. And I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then it became such a powerful part of my own healing journey. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like Waco, like I just never left. Like I'm still here. I just kept going deeper, and there's so much to learn. Yeah. And it's, still practicing.
And it's very fitting that May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I don't know a lot about from like a mental health professional perspective, to be honest, because that's not who I am. But so in the month of May, we honor mental health awareness, and which I think is very important. I think we don't talk about mental health like we should. I mean, it's this thing that's in our bodies that we walk around with all the time, and we're inside our heads, and we don't always treat it very nicely, or take care of it or whatever. And so this month is a great opportunity to be reminded to check in with yourself, go within, do the work.
Slow down.
Join
some yoga.
Yeah, come see me at yoga. It's great for your mental health.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so you started your yoga training, kind of, or you already mentioned your journey, and then you did your yoga training hours here, right? Through one of the programs here in Waco. Mm-hmm.
I did my 200-hour teacher training, which is like your first thing, kind of like your bachelor's degree is how I consider it.
A bachelor's degree in yoga.
I did that in like 2017, 2018, I think.
Fantastic.
And then stayed with my same teacher, Jess, who actually moved to California.
Aww.
But she lived in Waco, part of that time.
Yeah.
And so I did my 300-hour with her as well. Mm-hmm. And just haven't stopped teaching and practicing, and
And so what made you want to open your own yoga studio?
Good question. So it's kind of it's been a long-term dream of mine, even one that I didn't always allow myself to acknowledge. And I just felt this need for a place, not that there aren't places in Waco for people to practice yoga and belong and find community, but I just felt like each individual person on this planet has their own voice and their own experience and their own perspective and walk in life. And so I guess it's kind of like a form of expressing my journey and my like I can bring something to the planet that nobody else can because of my experience. And so just honestly just building community and connection. Sangha means community, and that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. So why do you think that's so important here in the Waco community?
Because I'm here. No, because it's important everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think wherever, like, I would have done a yoga studio wherever in the world, that I just happen to be. And, but I think we all just need love and belonging. To shout out to Brene Brown, who's like the guru of those things. And it kind of, in some ways came out of a just desire for myself to belong.
Yeah.
And I was like, especially with COVID and being quarantined, from humanity, I just was like, we need each other. Yeah. And, that of course was tricky during the height of the pandemic and whatnot. But, I just think community is very important. And I think, now that we're kind of hopefully coming out of that crazy season of COVID, it's kind of a trauma in and of itself, like a communal trauma that we get to heal together. And
Yeah. And what is something you would like to see here in Waco?
She just licked me. That was the same thing. Hey, baby. What would I like to see in Waco? I am big on the word connection, and I know that that's not something you can really necessarily see with your eyes when it comes to interpersonal connection. But I just, and not just in Waco, but all over the planet, at which we have internet and stuff now. Yeah. It makes connection a little bit easier in other parts of the world.
But also in some ways a little more distant.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, trying to find like the best of both worlds there, like finding the balance between the good and the distant. I would, just like a deeper more connected sense of community and belonging. And my thing also is holding space for people to be honest and to be who they are. And come as you are, like that's, I literally said that to Debbie earlier today.
Yeah. She was like, this isn't a video podcast, is it? And I was like, actually it is.
No, so, but totally I'm literally living what I say. Come as you are. So, so I just safer space to connect with your body, to practice the care of body, the care of mind, the care of spirit with other people.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so how long have you been doing this now?
At Sangha? We, like, a little bit over a month.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thanks. Like earlier this week was a month mark.
Oh, wow.
And so it's still very young and new and small. Like, I don't even have my website up yet, real cool and all. But
just slide in those DMs on Instagram.
Yes. So bless you.
Bless you, Joy.
That was Joy sneezing for those who are not watching. Yeah, so about a month since we've started, and like officially, and so we we're just trucking right along.
Yeah.
Just one step at a time.
Yeah, and so you actually do classes quite a few times a week. Do you want to tell us what your class schedule looks like? What type of classes that interest you?
So there are lots of kinds of yoga, like kinds of yoga classes, and so I just rolled out, like just this week, we rolled out the summer schedule, which is a little bit pared back from what the spring schedule was for multiple reasons, but mainly because people are out of town, things are going on in summer.
It's the summer.
Yeah. And so I just started morning classes, early morning classes. So on Tuesday, Thursday, we have at 6:15 a.m. Yeah, it's really early.
A.M. Early morning.
Early morning. We have a vinyasa class, which is what I'm most trained in.
And what is vinyasa for those
if
at
you've
home?
ever heard of like a yoga flow.
Okay, like slow
vinyasa
flow.
is kind of like, I mean, there's more to it than that, of course, in the tradition, but it's a style of yoga, and it's more flow related, and it can be a little more fast paced than some other stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but
Kind of just feel it out.
yeah. And for the early morning classes, we do kind of a little, kind of in between.
Yeah.
And, it just kind of depends. We just started this week. Like, I'm acting like I've done it a lot. But, yeah, so it's just been kind of like a little more movement, but not like crazy fast, because we want to be mindful about what we're doing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's morning classes. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings at, I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, at 6 o'clock. I have Tuesday, Thursday, it's candlelight healing, and Wednesday it is vinyasa, which is the same thing as in the mornings. Candlelight healing, again, that's Tuesday, Thursday evenings. We light candles, so there's the candlelight part. I think candles are magical. And we just do like a slow, not quite yin style for those who are familiar with yin, but and not even quite restorative, but kind of with those influences.
Ooh,
so like
interesting.
slow movements, whole, restful poses. It's the purpose is healing, allowing the body to recover and heal itself. So that's one thing on Tuesday, Thursday evenings. And then I've got some weekend classes, Saturday and Sunday, 9 o'clock and 10:15. I just changed it.
I know.
So
I was like,
what is it?
I was like, is she going to remember off the top of her head?
I'm surprised I didn't have to look. But yeah, so weekend classes include, I'm totally blanking, but there's a vinyasa in there somewhere. And there on Sunday, the 10:15 class is a trauma-informed healing class. And so that is kind of a special, like anybody can come.
Yeah.
But it's just focused on being sensitive toward people who have survived trauma, which is all of us in some way. And just kind of like an extra sensitive space for people who may have experienced various forms of trauma to their bodies or even their minds or their spirits. And so, so it's just like a little bit more intentional, focused on trauma healing. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything like that, so I'm not proclaiming that. But, and somewhere in there, I think Sunday morning is a slow flow, so that's just kind of wake up with the sun and just going. And I think that I might have missed one or two, but I think that covers most of the classes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it sounds like you have a lot of classes for different people in different states of life and people in different walks. Everybody's looking for something different.
They are. And different body types, too. Like, we all have a different body type.
Yeah.
And people have injuries and illnesses and old injuries that won't go away and things like that. And those are all things that we take into consideration. And we can make modifications for even like even pregnancy. Like you learn how, in teacher training, you learn how to teach a pregnant person how to practice yoga safely.
Yeah.
So we have space for that. And yeah.
So what is
like
your
everybody.
mission behind your classes?
Yeah. The statement is simplified. The statement is a safe and sacred space to move, to heal, and to belong.
Oh, wow.
I may have gotten those out of order, but it says
Those three principles.
Yeah, those three things is like we want to connect with our bodies, move them, heal, mind, body, spirit, and belong with one another and to ourselves, like belong to ourselves too. So.
Yeah, and what is one of your goals, or what is something you would like to achieve out of this?
Every person on the planet to practice yoga. No, I'm just kidding.
It has to come to my class specifically.
That would be epic. No, I honestly and I probably need to figure out how to make this into a measurable goal. But my like intention, my purpose behind it all is to give back the things that I've received myself. And so I have found so much healing and help and wisdom through the practice of yoga and the philosophy and all of that. And I just want to share that with others. Yeah. And not in a way that's like, you have to be like me. Yeah. You know, you have to match my journey, because that's not how it works. And and just to like offer a space to walk with people in their own journey. So yeah, I don't know if that's a measurable goal, like a SMART goal, like they say, but that's kind of the
overall,
the thing,
the feel, the vibe. Yeah.
The driving desire.
Yeah. And so what I've been asking a lot of people is, you know, we're already in May of 2022. So what is something you would like to do by the end of the year?
Goodness. My brain is still stuck in February 2020, so I can't believe that it's May of 22. Well, by the end of the year, I hope to continue, and again, this is probably not a measurable goal. I probably should turn it into one, but just to continue to grow, not just in number, like like of course we want more people to come and that kind of thing, but also just to see, like, to be able to watch my students' journey and their progression toward their goals or the intended life that they want to be living. That's kind of my goal, is to help. Yeah. So that's not a very clear, measurable goal, but
that's still a goal.
It's there.
Yeah. Okay. And now give us all of your socials, where we can find you, how we can get in contact with you. Yeah.
You can send a smoke signal anytime. I'll write it on a blimp. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing any of that.
Skywriting.
Yeah. I'll hire what are they called? Airplane people? Pilot.
Yes, that's the word we're looking for.
And no. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find the yoga studio on Instagram at Sangha Yoga Waco, and that is spelled S as in Sam, ANGHAYOGA WACO. There you go. the whole thing. I haven't fully gotten it to Facebook yet, but it's on Instagram. You can find me as a person, as a yoga instructor, on Instagram and Facebook at yogi.mshack, which is MSHAC.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you talking about it.
Sure.
I hope more people come find you and join the class.
Come on.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners today?
Have a beautiful day. Like some days can be tough, so just keep your head up.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice.
Keep going.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been Haley. I'm signing off. Tune in every Friday for all of the events and activities.
Now that you know Waco, just go. Go, Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.